What's going on, everybody? I just wanted to do my end of the day, end of the week, Friday recap on the day, checking how my trades went. I actually am curious to know if anyone who's watching this had any nice trades today. Leave it down in the comments section because I would love to hear your levels of entry, your stop loss, your take profit, how much you made. That's up to you if you want to share that. That's not a big deal. More so the levels and the trade setup that you made is more important to me than how much you made. So, I actually made a few trades today. I profited a total of $222, something like $25. I don't know, $225. So one trade that I did end up actually making today was just this move here. But starting it off, I mean, when we opened up, I mean, we pretty much opened up and we just pretty much continued down with most of the market. So, my initial idea when I talked about everything, when I made that video that I posted this morning, I had made it last night. My initial idea was for this market to come up and rally into some key resistance areas and then reject. But unfortunately, it didn't do that. It just kind of was like, if you were to just jump in and grab the damn shorts right first thing, you were fucking killing it. Now, that's not normally how I play things because I like to short from some key levels. And although we had key level breaks that could have potentially signaled that, I was just expecting a little bit more upside, and we just didn't get it. So with Apple, this was when I shorted towards like the middle of the day, whatever, maybe after lunch, was this here. It was starting to look like a potential double bottom was brewing, but I was kind of like looking at it as being so damn weak. We were just chopping between a 30-cent range or so. So I ended up waiting for this to break this 49.08. And then finally we broke the 49.08 here. And then we closed our candles below. So I grabbed I don't exactly remember what it was. I think it was a 150, 224 put or something. And it cost probably around $340 when I got in. And then I wrote it down to roughly about this point here of probably somewhere in this range here. I closed it out and I only made about $45 off of that. So it was a very small move. And I could have held it the whole day here because I would have definitely seen some more flush. But, it ended up getting into this low of 147.84, which we chopped around on Apple here, starting to make a potential triple bottom. Then we had a low break, which is what I was just looking at here as we're getting to the end of the day. And I was expecting this low break down to 147s was my idea. I didn't take this trade, but I was kind of like, well, we're getting to the end of the day. Buyers are stepping in. Sellers are kind of taking profits. I'm expecting a low break and then basically a bear trap and a rip. And that's exactly what happened here. So, whether or not it just remains in this range, which is below some pretty strong support, that's something for Monday. I'm not quite sure. I think that the market's going to finally have a nice bounce. A break of 150 brings us to 150, 116. But Apple was something we talked about for a while. And what was the main level that we talked about was going to be support for Apple? It was roughly this 149.17 area was my idea. And we pretty much stayed at this pretty much box range from 149 to 149.17. I mean, look at how damn close we got. 149.17 right there. Boom. Rallied off of it. I mean, that level came in very, very clear. That was one thing that we did talk about, which is why I was so okay with taking it, because it was my level. So when we break my level, I know that my level should be damn good, and it was pretty good. It wasn't very powerful, but it is what it is. And now Apple looks like it's probably going to have a pretty good day if it can clear and get back above that level. That's just kind of how it goes. If not, then you look for some lower levels, and it seems to me like a break of 147.84 and hold it as resistance could potentially end up being that next level down if we are going to continue to sell off in this market. So SPY, my low call of the day was 386.25, and obviously we broke that. But the key thing that I had talked about, I was hoping for, a bigger run to the upside like we had discussed to the 396 30-ish area, and it just didn't end up occurring. But the other thing that I believe that we had talked about was holding below the 393.50 as resistance, and if that started happening, that could signal a good short. Well, the first thing we did was we opened up and we couldn't clear the 393.50. That could have been one to just jump right in on. I wasn't looking for it because I was kind of expecting us to potentially rally back in and then get some good highs and then short that. Well, we just dropped. So when we did rally back here, this was an excellent spot to short. I didn't take it. Hopefully someone in here, if you had watched my previous videos, took that trade. I also posted it on TradingView as well. So that was a banger of a short position right there, and you would have made significant profits. But now we're getting into a potential of a double bottom down here. We still have this downtrending resistance here. If you look on the 15-minute, I mean, it's not that good, but it is what it is. Maybe that ends up being something. So, you know, if we do rally back up here, we still have to break this 388.50 now. That could be something that we end up doing, and then we end up have to look back up into these highs here of 393.30, and then if we can clear that, we might be able to come up and retest that 396.56 or higher, but who knows, right? But we did bounce at some pretty critical support area. If we looked over here and these candles and these candle bodies here, whoops, where is it? Right here. 385.70s. Where was it? Where was our low? You know, anyway, this was kind of like an area that previously we struggled to get above, and then when we did, we rallied like crazy. And that's kind of where we bounced here, was like a back test of this previous resistance that we formed, and then we kind of came back down to it roughly. So around that 384. So, I mean, that was lower than my expectations, as my expectations was around 386.25. I think that was off of this body here and this wick, these wicks. Yeah, roughly 386.50 or so. But anyway, whether or not that ends up coming into play still, it's possible that if we can get back above that, maybe we'll see another break to the upside again. Or if we just hang out below it, then maybe we end up doing something, you know, like this. I don't really know what the plan is here with the market, but I do know that we just had a pretty big drop. So I would assume we'd probably get into some kind of choppy range, just like when we had this big drop here. We went into a choppy range, and then we broke to the upside. Maybe we get into a choppy range here and then decide whether we break to the upside or further to the downside, which is very possible as well. So NVDA, this one I really wanted to get into today, did not happen for me. This was something that I shorted above at 342 area and wrote it down, and then I ended up closing it quite early. I did close it probably in the 35s on, well, I think it was it yesterday? Yesterday, I think I closed it. And it was kind of a dumb idea, obviously, because we continued to sell off today. So then I was like, shit, I got to get back into this thing. What am I going to do? And I was discussing in a post that I made on TradingView that, and also with you guys, that I was looking for this 238.13. And, you know, this is the area that we came up to here, was roughly this 236.17. So also, if you look over here, this was kind of like a double bottom that rallied up, rejected. Then we rejected off it as resistance, and then we pulled back up. We popped above it, tried to hold it as support, and that was this morning, actually. That would have been a banger short, but I believe we did that pre-market. Maybe we did it right on open, but I don't know. I think we kind of opened up down in this range. Then we kind of rejected this $33 level that I had made a post about on TradingView being an important level. If we were to reject it and not claim it as support, that was an area to potentially short. I should have taken my own damn advice, because that was a great area to potentially bring it down, and we bounced it around 228. Now we're kind of starting to double bottom here. So, you know, I think Monday's going to be a great day, because I believe that if we do end up starting to get some relief rallies in this market, that we could end up starting to come up and potentially retest some of those highs. Now, it doesn't mean that we'd be shorting this market. Most likely it will be, if we do get some support back above some of these areas, it might be the opposite. It might be wanting to long it until those resistance areas. Then we can look for a short when it eventually slows down. If any of this even happens, who the hell knows, right? Maybe we just continue to sell off, but that's to be fine. We'll find that out on Friday. So this was my short for the day. I'll show you guys. It wasn't anything too impressive. I have my red arrows where I shorted it. So one cool thing is this was a level that we had talked about on the last video that I made on Tesla. 168.85 was an area that I said, hey, we could come down to 167. And then I said towards the end of the video, I was saying, well, 168.85 was a level that we had never closed candle bodies below. Well, goddamn, look at that frickin' bottom. So, you know, we came down and I'm watching this thing and it rejects the 96 area this morning. And then I'm looking, I'm like, oh, maybe it's going to rally up to that 180, right? Because that was what I was looking for, 180s to 181s. Well, nope, it just was a free fall. And we fell all the way down. This was the best short of the day, which I didn't catch any of this. So let me know in the comments if you guys did get any of this action. Then we bounced. Then we started holding 172.10 as support. So this was a very clear level of potential support, which is why I did what I did. So then as we started coming back up here and we started getting quite a bit of resistance on this previous area here where we got resistance, we were getting a lot of resistance here. And then we started popping above. Now at this point, I'm like, you know, this is a rally to be sold here in my view. So I was like, you know, maybe we can find some kind of resistance on a previous area. So I looked over at this candle body right here and I put my yellow trend line and I said, this is probably where we want to short. So as we're chopping in here, I'm waiting and waiting and waiting for 175.45. Bang, wick right there. As soon as I saw that shit, I punched the bid. 175 put, 224 expiration. Cost was $830 or something, $830. And then we rejected. We started losing the confirmation. And at this point, I'm like, I think this is going to be good. But if we pop up here, I might end up having to get stopped out depending on how it plays out. And then slams down, starts breaking. So now I'm like, shit, okay, well, this is working. I'm like, do I want to pull it down to 168? And I'm like, honestly, I don't think that's going to be smart. So as it's coming in, I'm starting to rack up. Like, you know, at this point, I'm up $80, up $100, $150, 175, so on and so forth. And I'm like, all right, this is a damn good short. This is why not take the profits. So right as we get down to this previous wick area here, slam the close right there on this body right here. And then I kind of waited and it kind of chopped a little bit and then it ended up rallying. So I'm like, oh, thank God I took that. So as we started closing above this point, I'm like, Tesla might be a good long here. Now it's probably going to go to that 180. So I was like, maybe this is an area to go long, which I did not do, but I just was watching it. And as we're coming up here, I noticed quite a bit of rejection and I did not take the short because at this point, I'm like, I think 180 is where it's at. Well, at this point, this is when the SPY was rejecting the 393.50 area. And I didn't look over at SPY at the time. Otherwise, it probably would have confirmed my idea. Well, not my idea, but confirmed this rejection as a pretty good short area. Well, it was a great short area. And then it came back down and it hovered back around some of these areas. We rejected under this previous support, another great short entry, and I didn't get any of that. But then we came back down to where? 172.10 with a wick below, but no candle bodies closed below, really. I mean, this one did. This was kind of a bear trap. Then we just bought right back up. So anyway, that was my little short for the day. So you can obviously see how I just literally shorted in this tiny little section and all this shit happened after that. So it's like, if I held all day long, I mean, I probably could have had another chance to sell it, but I would have been underwater here and then making my money here. And if I'm still waiting for the break of 172, it would have never happened. So Now Tesla has found a pretty good support dip buy. Obviously, the buyers liked it. They're controlling the 172. So really, we have two areas. We have 178.19 and we have 172.10. That'll be two key areas to watch for Monday. So if we do rally and we end up getting back up into this range and we do reject, then maybe we have to short it, and maybe it'll turn into a double top that eventually comes down. Unless, of course, it decides to get above, then maybe we carry our way back up depending on how the market goes. But that's just like kind of what I'm thinking for Tesla. So I don't know. With all that being said, I think that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about for today. I just wanted to check in with everybody and kind of see where everything's been. Looks like Bitcoin did bounce off that 19.5. It's kind of trending up, but it looks like it's going to roll again soon. It's going to take a while, I'm sure. DXY did break the rising channel idea, but it just bought right back in. It kind of held that flat support again of 104.1. So that's kind of just still hanging on. I was looking for a break of 104 and a close below, but now it looks like it's might be potentially trying to hang on, but I guess we'll have to see how this plays out. But, with all that being said, guys, I hope you guys had an awesome day. Hopefully you guys had some good profits and can live to see another day. And until next time, please, peace.